Okay, Kate, you should probably try stopping in shot. Hi guys, I hope you're all well. Welcome back to my channel. Today, you're probably thinking, Kate, we've seen this bike on your YouTube a lot, the GSXS 1000. Wrong. It's not the GSXS 1000. It is the GSXS 950. Now, when I was told by Suzuki that I was getting this bike for 3 weeks, I was like, oh, I didn't even really know of its existence, to be honest. So I did a bit of a look on YouTube and I was trying to see what other people had, said about it and what they thought about it. And you know what? There's really nothing out there on YouTube really about this bike in any kind of detail. So I thought, okay, opportunity. And I said, yeah, I'll have it. Might not be the most common bike, but you know me, I'll literally ride any bike, throw my leg over it and see what I think. So in typical format, this is just a walk around video today. So I'm going to be discussing the specs of this bike, who it probably appeals to. I'll be talking about the weight of this bike, how tall it is, what it's like for me to sit on it as a 5'4" human with a 29-inch inseam, push it around and just really let you know kind of what I think about this bike upon first glance. If the riding vlogs are more your style, stay tuned because there will be plenty of those to be done on this bike. But for now, this is really just a video if you actually want to get to know the bike in a little bit more detail. So first things first, what is the purpose of this bike? 950, there's already 1,000 out there. What is the point? Well, this bike has 94 or just shy of horsepower, and it is A2 compliant. So you can restrict it to 47 brake horsepower or 35 kilowatt so that you can ride this on an A2 license. The GSXS 1000S, the full fat version, is 150 brake horsepower. So newbies to riding, they've no chance of riding one of those on their license if it's an A2. So this is the solution that Suzuki came up with. So the GSXS 950 comes in 3 different colours. Now the one that you're looking at right now, you'll be very familiar with it. It's a metallic Triton blue. You will have seen it on my GSXS 1000 GT walk round. It is the same lovely blue and it is a colour that I just associate with Suzuki's. So if you were to put a GSXS 1000S next to this bike in the exact same colour option, you'll notice that the sort of standout visual differences. Here you have a silver panel with the GSXS 950 decals. So that's one of the telltale signs. Another telltale sign is on the tail unit here. On the 1000 you have that flash of fluo, which makes it pop, and you also get blue wheels on the GSXS 1000S in the metallic Triton blue. Obviously, another telltale sign is the colour of the forks. You get the stunning gold ones on the GSXS 1000S, but on this one you get the silver forks, and you know what, I think it ties in quite nicely with that silver panel, silver exhaust and silver foot hangers as well. Other colour options that are available, and I'll pop a picture on the screen now. You've got metallic matte black number 2, and you've got pearl brilliant white as well. So this bike actually shares the same 999cc inline 4 engine as its big brother. However, this one is electronically detuned using wizardry. Now Mike, being the inquisitive man that he is, asked the techs at Suzuki when we collected this bike, he said, well, if it's the same engine, can it not technically, release all 150 horses? And although we didn't get a definite answer, we were met with things like, well, this bike, doesn't have, it's got more budget parts on it, so you know, things like the traction control, you've got 3 stages instead of 5 and stuff like that. You don't have any rider modes. So to be quite honest, I don't think it's been done, and that's probably why there wasn't a lot of information from that specific tech that could be offered when Mike asked the question, but it's food for thought, definitely. So looking at this bike in its own right, as opposed to comparing it to its dad, let's have a look at the hardware. You've still got KYB 43mm upside down forks. They are non-adjustable, so you don't have any adjustability on there at all. And if we're going round to the back, again, you've got a monoshock rear. Standard procedure, really. So now moving on to brakes, you've got twin discs at the front, common practice with most manufacturers nowadays, to be fair. And then you have a Tokico caliper, again 4-port radially mounted. And then moving round to the brakes on the rear, you've got a Nissin caliper with a 240mm diameter disc. If we have a look at the front, you've got the same headlight unit that's on the GSXS 1000, again with that urban camo sort of accent there, as well as here, so it's carried on through the bodywork with this bike. But you've got the LED stacked headlight unit, and then if we take a look around here, you've got the LED rear as well. Now, one of the cost cutting measures or cost saving measures from Suzuki, because this is the 950, is these big clumsy indicators. Bit of a telltale sign that this is not the full fat one, because they are very, very big. Tank, still got the same 19-litre tank. It will do a reported 230 miles according to Suzuki. And then if we have a look at the dash, again, this is the dash that is on the 1000S, but obviously not the dash that's on the GT. The GT went TFT, the S still remained LCD. Now hopefully you can see this, but you have the revs that go around the outside, you have the gear indicator nice and big, you have traction control. You can tell Mike's been riding this, it's the first thing he does, whips it off. Fuel up here, engine temp here. Then you've got the odometer. You have how many miles you've got until you need to fill up. You've got trip A, and then you've got your MPG there, and you've got time there. So when you press the mode button, you can just manipulate the traction control. So we can put it on level 1, we can put it on level 2 or 3. It does just have 3 stages of traction control, and then you can switch it off. And even though it does say mode, it's a little bit sort of misleading, that button, just purely because there are no rider modes with this. You know, it's a sub 100 brake horsepower bike. So it could be argued that, does it really need rider modes? I know that with a nice smooth throttle and, you know, engaging a bit of brain power, you can ride in the rain with this kind of horsepower safely. So another thing that Suzuki have carried over from a lot of bikes in their range is the quick start button, and also the low rev assist or low RPM assist, which basically is just something that's great for, you know, newer riders, or even just me if I'm having a bad day, and they just help you not stall. If we're just looking at the handlebars and stuff like that, you have got a thinner bar, I believe, on the front. You've still got ride-by-wire throttle, which is a nice touch, and everything looks quite similar. 19-litre tank, we've covered that. Seat unit, pretty much all the same. So, just a quick run through things that the 950 has, that the 1000 version of this bike also has. So it's got the same engine as mentioned, just detuned. It's got the same chassis, so when you get on it, everything is the same. The seat height is the same, 810mm. The weight is the same, 214 kilograms. So you are getting that big bike experience. The swing arm is the same. You know, the wheels are the same. You've still got a big 190 rear. I rode this back from Data Tool with my friend following me, and he was like, yeah, you look really tiny on that bike. It looks like it's got a proper chunky rear tyre. But yeah, that's a 190 for you. So they've kept the tank, that's exactly the same. They've kept the LED lights, front and rear as mentioned. You've got the same LCD screen. You've got the same ride-by-wire throttle, and you've got the same little things like traction control, although it is slightly different, mode levels. And then you've got, like I mentioned, the, low rev assist, ride-by-wire throttle, all that good stuff. Quick whiz around the bike to let you know where it differs from the GSXS 1000S. So as mentioned, you've just got the generic indicators on this bike. On the 1000S, you have the LED indicators. You do have lower spec forks on this, so although they're KYB and they're 43mm, just like on the 1000, the 1000's forks are fully adjustable and gold, so that's a visual change. So with the brakes on this bike, you've got Tokico calipers as opposed to the Brembos, which is on the 1000. One of the differences, which is a crying shame for me, is no quick shifter and auto blipper. And the Suzuki's quick shifter and auto blipper on the 1000 is so sublime. It kind of kills me off that they didn't put it on, but I do get it from a cost saving perspective. Having said that, I don't think there's an option to spec it with a quick shifter, so that does upset me. Right, guys and girls, seat height 810mm as mentioned. When it's on its stand, we've got a bit of an angle bit of a leg dangle. Pull it up, and with my foot on the peg, if I'm sat directly on the seat, I have sort of, I could pretty much flat foot it if I bring my foot in a bit closer. If I stop at traffic lights, it's no dramas. If you like to get both feet down at lights, again, tiptoes. But it just depends how you're comfortable. But yeah, 810mm for me. Again, 5'4", 29-inch inseam, very manageable height. Weight 214 kilograms. This is feeling kind of light at the moment because it's running a bit low on juice. Need to fill it up. Muster the courage to get my card out. Only because fuel's bloody ridiculous nowadays. So yeah, that is what it's like to sit on. If we're going to move it around, I'm not going to do the full, shebang that I normally do. It's a naked bike. It's nice and easy to push. Stand up. Push it round. It's not rocket science, I guess. It's no heavier, no more unwielding than most things that I push around, naked bike-wise. It's not really any different to the CB 1000R that I recently pushed around, the GSXS 1000S, anything kind of naked like that. It's a bit of a muchness. Right, so a little recap on this bike, Suzuki's A2 compliant version of the 1000. If you've just passed your A2 test, then obviously you can get this bad boy restricted to 47 brake horsepower, ride it around for a few years on that horsepower, and then when you are free and the licence gods release you to full power, you've got just shy of 100 brake horsepower to play with, 94, it's a decent amount. Now, one of the things that I need to mention about this bike, price, £10,199 for the 1000 version with 150 brake horsepower, quick shifter and blipper, uprated suspension, uprated calipers, rider modes, 5-level traction control. You're only paying £1,000 more. So, who is this really aimed at? I think it is aimed obviously at an A2 rider. The pricing in the market is on the higher side when you've got, things that you can ride on A2 licenses like NT07s and CB650Rs and all that kind of jazz. I think this is competing more with the sort of Ducati monster side of things, but It is one of those bikes that I personally believe is kind of a bit of an investment bike. So to me, it's like one of those bikes that you can grow with, you can get to know it over time. You can get it from an A2, you know, you keep it maybe, say, I don't know, 3 or 4 year PCP, if you wanted to go down that route. I'm not a financial advisor, just so you know. And then once the, you know, restriction period's up, you've got 94 horsepower. That is still a fun amount of horsepower. You've got things like the KTM Duke 790, which that's 105, so it's not all sort of, you know, lacking. Having said that, it is one of the more heavier bikes sort of in the marketplace. But yes, the bike comes with a Suzuki 3-year manufacturer's warranty and 1-year AA/Suzuki kind of collab breakdown assist. Right guys, so moving on to insurance on this bike. What's it going to cost for my channel sponsor BikeShare to insure me on the Suzuki GSXS 950? So I rang up Nick, he's my guy. Nick said to me, Kate, based on you being 30 years old, female, residing in Bolton, having the maximum no claims discount allowed, and you know, being a rider and on the road for 14 years, we could insure you annually, fully comprehensive, with £100,000 worth of legal fee covers in the event that you should need it, for £356 a year. That's not too bad. But one thing I would always advise you guys, especially if you're on this video, it's got A2 compliant probably in the title, get insurance quotes, check whether you can actually afford the insurance of the bike. Not afford necessarily, but justify the cost of the insurance before you crack on and purchase any bike really, not just this one, just any bike. Just do your due diligence and research and don't get caught short. Right, well, that is me done for the day. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I hope you found it useful. And yeah, maybe something a bit different because, like I said, I don't often see this bike on YouTube. It's not something that I come across when I type in GSXS 950. So yeah, hopefully something a little bit different. But if you have enjoyed this video or you enjoy my channel in general, please consider subscribing. Please consider liking this video, commenting, it all helps and I'm forever grateful. So guys, until the next time, take care and ride safe. Well guys, I hope you're all right. Welcome back to my channel. Oh God, it's so windy. New booster. Just ignore me jibber jabbering away. Pretend I'm not here. Not seen you. No. I'm a subscriber. Whoop whoop. Is it working out for you? Huh? Is it working out for you? Yeah, it's doing all right. It's just nice not having a boss. I'm the boss. That's why I've been self-employed for years. Honestly, it's so good. Goodbye, my lover. Goodbye, my friend. Oh God, I'll never do that again. Oh, guys, it's a wind trap down here. Look at this. How am I supposed to remain a professional? I look like bloody Mufasa. Let you amend. You don't have rider modes. What the hell? What a legend. Yes. That guy plays by his absolute own rules and I'm here for it. A nice guy having a wee over there. Brilliant. That's what I wanted to see. Just made my morning. Cheers, buddy.